Now from 12 Sports, PC Hoops with Coach Kim English.
Hello and welcome to PC Hoops with Coach Kim English. I'm your host, Sam Knox. Things have taken a turn for PC after winning 3 straight games. They've now fallen in 2 straight. The Friars in the nation's capital taking on Georgetown on Saturday. The Friars were down 9 at the half, but a much better response in the second. Ryan Mila in the corner to make it a 1-possession game. Later, Stefan Vox off the screen. He's going to knock down the tray to put the Friars in front. But PC struggled against the Hoyas' interior presence. Vince Iwechukwu puts the Hoyas back in front with the slam. He finished with 25. 1.4 seconds left in the game. The Friars trying to win it here. However, off the inbound, they throw the ball away, and that would be it. They fall 80-79. Here's Kim English after the loss.
There's been no noise around our program the last couple of days. We've been in the gym. We've been working. I thought we had 2 really good days of prep. Thought they had a good we didn't start the game the right way, but I was really proud of the resolve and the way it came out of halftime in playing. It's just now the onus and the focus is, can we start the game with that type of energy and focus and intensity?
And here is this week's PC trivia question. When was the last time PC had a top 3 score in conference play? This does not include this season. Email your answer to sports@wpri.com, and the first correct answer in our inbox will get a Providence Nike backpack. Still to come on the PC Hoops Coaches Show, we hear from Kim English after the loss to Georgetown.
PC Hoops with Coach Kim English continues.
The head coach was not available to be on our show this week, so we compiled sound bites from the post-game press conference after the Georgetown game. Take a listen.
How has it been preparing for this game with the noise around the program the last couple of days?
There's been no noise around our program the last couple of days. We've been in the gym. We've been working. We talk about every single thing, everything that's going on in our program, and everything, and great clarity. And I thought we had 2 really good days of prep. Thought they had a good. We didn't start the game the right way, but I was really proud of the resolve and the way it came out of halftime in playing. It's just now the onus and the focus is, can we start the game with that type of energy and focus and intensity?
I have to ask, have you been told anything about your status for subsequent seasons after this one?
I am coaching this team, and I'm coaching this team on Wednesday night or Wednesday at MSG. There's been no news, there's been no news in our program. We talk about everything every day. And the only news was, coming off a 3-game win streak, losing to Marquette the way we did, and that not being the end of the world. How we respond, how we show up, how we work, how we prepare, how we hold our heads up is the most important thing. And I'm really proud of our guys. And that second half, the way they came out, showed a lot. Now, if we can just get to the point where we start the game on that tight time, that's the focus going into MSG. This isn't, like, we're playing basketball. I get to coach a basketball game in Madison Square Garden on Wednesday night. Tehran, Iran is pressure right now. You're living in Haiti or Gaza. That's pressure right now. We're playing and coaching basketball. No one's going to get hit or hurt. We're playing basketball. So you keep things in perspective.
Kim, they're going to hand out, I think, Big East, rookie first team awards tomorrow. Just talk about, what Jameer and Stefan have meant to this team this year.
Yeah, they've done more than, we had hoped when we put the team together. When you end up relying on freshmen, you have a lot of ups and downs. I've been a part of it before. 2 other times as an assistant coach, coaching really good freshmen, really good sophomores, and then they kind of blossom as juniors and seniors. We've had a lot of success with our young guys, our freshmen. Rich Barron, Ryan, Oswin, Vox, and Jameer will be all freshmen likely. As they grow, they they improve,
And Jalen, him becoming the Big East scoring champ. What can you say about him?
Yeah, he got better and better. He got better and better throughout the season. Tall task to adjust. He played at Ball State, played at Central Florida, come to Providence, 3 different coaches with different staffs, different styles. He really bought in as the season went on to the way we play, the pace, the decisions, the reads, and we haven't won as much as he'd like to or we'd like to, but he's equipped for what he needs as he finishes this season, but ultimately goes on to become a professional.
But what about the spark that Ryan Meal has given you these last couple of games?
I've begged him for 2 years to shoot the ball. Stop turning down open shots, and he's shooting the ball, and he's made 3 threes, career high in both of the last 2 games shooting the ball. So he's getting better. He and Osmond, those young guys, Vox, Jameer, they're going to continue to grow and become really good players.
The turnover issues, Kim, the last couple of games, can you put your finger on anything specifically, or?
Yeah, Marquette's different than Georgetown. It's what they do. Marquette's eighth in the nation in steal rate. Georgetown, good defensive team. They are sometimes. Especially when Uwachukwu was out there for sure. They have some really good defensive lineups. But I just thought a lot of our turnovers were careless. I won't know, Brendan, until I watch it. But I just have in my mind, spin dribbling in the middle of the court when 2 guys are guarding you, like lazy one-hand passes, dribbling off your feet, passing the ball out of bounds. I just remember a lot of offensive fouls, on screens, ridiculous things that, and it hurts us because our offense is really good, especially when we get a shot. We have a top whatever offense in the country, and our defense is not really good. And we need our offense to give our defense a chance. And when you're turning it over, you're killing your defense.
But what about the spark that Ryan Meal has given you these last couple of games?
I've begged him for 2 years to shoot the ball. Stop turning down open shots. And he's shooting the ball, and he's made 3 threes, career high in both of the last 2 games shooting the ball. So he's getting better.
What do you think of the draw, Butler and potentially St. John's?
Yeah, get ready for a double overtime game.
Yeah.
I hope we're healthy. Again, every game in this league, you're playing one of the best coaches in the country. So Thad Matta, 500-plus wins. Michael Ajayi, all-league. Finley Bizjack, all-league. They're young guys. Drayton, good big. They play good. We've just hope it doesn't go to, Syracuse, Connecticut 6 overtimes.
Still to come on the PC Hoops Coaches Show, a feature on the grad guard Jalen Sellers, who has lit it up this season.
PC Hoops with Coach Kim English continues.
He was just named to the second-team All-Big East. Jalen Sellers has been a great addition to the Friars team this season. He's this week's featured Friar.
One thing that I have to do that's non-basketball related is read a Bible scripture, review it, and make sure that I'm understanding it, and also just praying on that Bible scripture. The last show I watched was His and Hers on Netflix, and it's 100 out of 10. 100 out of 10. It's like a suspicion show. The person I would trust the most with watching my kid would probably be Corey Floyd. He reminds me a lot of myself, easy, calm guy, kind of even keel, looks responsible. He's responsible, that's Cap. So, yeah, I would have to go with him. Aside of basketball, the most thing that I'm passionate about would have to be God. And I wouldn't say outside, it's outside of basketball. It's all connected because that's what revolves around my life. That's the first thing I touch. That's the first person I talk to. The Bible, the first thing that I touch in the morning. So I would have to say God. That's one of the things that I'm most passionate about. That's my number one thing. And then it comes basketball. The team that I have winning the NBA Finals again would be OKC Thunder. I just think that they have all the tools to win and also their togetherness. Coach told us something that, all the teammates showed up to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander kid's birthday party. And I think it's very important for a team to just be that much together.
Still to come on the PC Hoops Coaches Show, Kevin McNamara joins Aniakan Okon for analysis ahead of the Big East tournament.
PC Hoops with Coach Kim English continues.
All right, K-Mac from Kevin Mac Sports joining us in studio to talk about the week in the Friars. Now, before the week, the Friars headed it into the week with a 3-game winning streak, but as we all know in the game of basketball, things can change quickly in a matter of a week. We'll talk about all of it in just a second, but I want to start off, Saturday, Friars wrapping up the regular season with a loss in the nation's capital against Georgetown. Just your overall thoughts on that performance.
Yeah, good opportunity in Aniakan, and they just couldn't play 40 minutes. We've seen that down the stretch here. A great opportunity, as you said, coming into this week, play the two bottom teams in the league, Marquette, who, by the way, is not a bottom team as we saw against UConn, and Georgetown, and they dropped both of them in different ways. Totally outplayed against Marquette. Georgetown, they had a bad start, as soon as they went to their bench. In the second half, Kim English didn't play his bench. I thought that was a very good coaching move. And yet down the stretch, toss-up game, and Friars lose another one. They've lost a lot of close ones.
Looking at that last final play, Oswin obviously went down late in that second half with a hand injury, was able to come back into the game. But what were your thoughts on that play call there?
Yeah, Kim English said that they had run several out-of-bounds baseline plays to successful ones, and thought that Georgetown would counter those. And so Providence had to counter, and that was the option, was a lob to Oswin. I'd rather see a lob to Jameer Jones in that circumstance, because to your point, Oswin had been struggling with his hand. But, tough play with only 1.4 seconds to go.
Now, no secret, it's been a crazy week, and you reported that the Friars will be letting go of Kim English at the end of the regular season. A lot to be made of that, but just what has gone wrong with the English hire, and why do you feel like it wasn't successful for the Friars?
In retrospect, a couple things stand out. Number one, the changing world of college basketball. Financially, Providence had money to spend, so the NIL, I think they adjusted fundraising-wise that way. But the portal, when you're adding 4, 5, 6 players a year, the last 2 years, they haven't gotten enough out of the portal, and that's a big chunk of your NIL budget and your roster. And that's really been the biggest thing. A couple of exceptions. Jalen Sellers this year certainly is the number one exception in the last 2 years, but too many misses in the portal. I'd say that's number one. And injuries. Losing Bryce Hopkins last year kind of sabotaged all of last season. They've certainly had some injuries this year as well.
We'll talk about Sellers in just a second, but just this feels unprecedented in the sense that, he's a sitting duck in the sense that, he might be out, kind of how does the team take the situation in the sense of, do they play for their coach? Do they play for themselves, where they're looking at, there's a potential opportunity for me in the portal? This is such a weird situation.
It is. It's an unfortunate situation, but I think you put your finger on it. They're great opportunities. Great opportunity, national TV against Georgetown, fell 1 point short. Even greater opportunity, Big East tournament, Madison Square Garden, against Butler. Tough draw for sure. But if I'm, any underclassman, I'm playing for my basketball career. All these guys are 1-year free agents. So who knows if they're back at Providence or looking to bounce somewhere else. So the opportunity to play well at the Big East tournament, it's a great opportunity.
From this whole English situation, what could PC administrators just learn from this whole situation?
Tough one, the roster construction being done on a yearly basis really puts an awful lot of onus on the personnel side. Some schools around the country like to go with a general manager. Providence hasn't done that. Now, they have a good, deep coaching staff. I'm sure an awful lot of those assistant coaches were working the portal in the past. But again, Providence isn't the only one to miss on portal players. It's very difficult to do. Retention, they've done a decent job with retention. Notable exception was Bryce Hopkins last year. But the adding the portal part, that's been what they hadn't got right.
And to your point, they've also landed on some of the freshmen and some of the younger guys. Ryan Mila is a great example. Oswin Arunse, a great example. But just, the experience, as we're seeing in college basketball, teams are getting older and older, and they just tried to struggle in that sense.
Well, how about this? 2 all-rookie picks this year in Jameer Jones and Stephen Vox. That's 5 all-rookie picks in Kim English's 3 years. That's good freshman recruiting, right? So done a good job there. The portal side, to add to those guys and retain, which Richard Barron was the one 3 years ago. He gets hurt this year. Could have been a valuable player this year. So, it's a lot of moving parts that just haven't fallen right for Kim English.
Now, still a lot to play for. The Friars, of course, opening up against Butler in that 8-9 matchup on Wednesday. Just what are your initial thoughts on that matchup?
I should get overtime pay because both of the matchups this year were double overtime. So 4 o'clock start on Wednesday. If they're done by 7, I guess I'll be happy. A 3-hour game at Madison Square Garden. Who knows? That said, Butler is playing very well coming in. They have a first-team All-League player in Michael Ajayi, very good player. Providence has had huge problems with him. Finley Bizjack. Butler's playing for a lot too. They'll be ready.
Kind of how do you take, in the Big East, of course, you're playing everyone twice, but what can you take from those 2 matchups?
They are evenly matched. I think both were high-scoring games. You'd like to think that one team can adjust defensively and play a little bit better on that side of the ball. I think both teams have trouble guarding the other. Who can guard? Who can defend? And keep someone below, 85 points, you probably win the game.
All Big East teams came out on Sunday. Jalen Sellers was a pick for the second team. Kind of just your thoughts on, a little interesting that, the league's not all-time, but leading scorer wasn't second on first team. Just what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought it was close. If I picked my top 6, which the Big East picks 6 on their first team, Jalen would be in it. He probably would be number 6. But for the coaches do the voting. For the coaches to put 3 UConn players on the first team, I'm really surprised by that. It's unprecedented. It's never happened in the history of the Big East that 3 players from the same school were on the first team. Ajayi, I think, is an automatic as well. Zuby from St. John's is the best player in the league. So, it's a talented league. Obviously, Jalen, big-time scorer, had a very good season. Providence's win-loss record certainly squeezed him.
And then if the Friars want to make a big run in the Big East tournament, who do you see as an X factor for them?
I would say Jameer Jones. His consistency has been a hallmark with a couple of exceptions. He strikes me as a player who would get really excited to play at Madison Square Garden. If Providence is fortunate enough to get by Butler, they play St. John's. What an opportunity. These 2 teams have had 2 unbelievable games this year, very spirited. Providence would love a third shot, noontime on Thursday. I know Jameer Jones would like that.
I'm not going to ask you who's going to win it, but Cinderella run out of the 11 Big East teams, who do you see making that a potential Cinderella run?
I would say Seton Hall. They bring it every game defensively, which I think can translate here in March. That said, they have Creighton right away. So very tough game. In the second game on Thursday, they would have to play St. John's, who they just played. It was a very competitive game in New Jersey, but I guess they would be the only Cinderella because everyone's expecting either St. John's or Connecticut. But I'm ready for some Cinderella.
Yeah,
it's March.
This is the best time of the year.
Let's
March. Get into it.
No question.
You'll have coverage of the Friars, of course. Their game on Wednesday. We'll have it as well. But K-Mac, we appreciate the time.
You got it.
All right, thanks, guys. Still to come on the PC Hoops Coaches Show, we take a look ahead on what's next for the Friars.
PC Hoops with Coach Kim English continues.
Welcome back. Let's take a look ahead at what the Friars have in front of them. It is the best time of year, March Madness. The Providence Friars, the 9th seed in the Big East tournament, will take on the Butler Bulldogs at 4 p.m. in the first game of the Big East tournament. They were in the exact same game last year, and they narrowly lost. Here is the answer to your PC Hoops trivia question. It is Devin Carter. He was the last guy to be a top 3 scorer in conference play this year. Jalen Sellers was also a top 3 scorer. Well, thanks for watching us on PC Hoops with Coach Kim English. The Big East tournament is up. The Friars have a chance to win a couple games and make a statement. Have a great night.